Hi guys, I'm at Salon Privé in Sloane Street. This is a preview show for the actual Salon Privé London that's going to happen in a few days' time. And one of the cars they have here, well, this is a Lotus Esprit. This is an original Esprit S1 with the correct Bond number plate on it. But this is not the car that I'm here to see, although I could stare at this all day. The car I'm here to see is this one. This is the Encor Series 1. Encore. And what that is, you could say it's a Restomod, but that would be doing it a disservice because this is a re-engineering, a reimagining of what the original Esprit could be, but with modern mechanicals. That is actually based on an end of series V8 Esprit, a version of this one. So, an amazing car. I've been dying to have a look at this and dying to chat to the people behind that. And this is what we're going to do right after this.
My name is Simon Lane and I'm co-founder and commercial director at Encore Design.
Simon, it's so good to finally meet you.
Likewise.
And to see the metal in the metal. Well, it's not metal, is it? It's carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
To see in the carbon fiber this incredible tribute that you've created to the original Esprit, which is parked right here.
Yes.
So tell me, what has it taken to produce what is ultimately my dream car, honestly? What has it taken to do this?
A huge amount of passion from a small team of people. So the car has been designed by one of my co-founders, Dan Durant, who was one of the lead designers at Lotus. And this is just a project that we've always wanted to do. We're all Esprit fans. So I had an Esprit GT3 for years. A couple of my co-founders have got them as well. And we just wanted to go back and revisit this car, amplify the things that were great about it and address the things that maybe made it a bit difficult to live with on a day-to-day basis.
Before we get into a little bit more on this, just to talk about your company a little bit, because as I understand it, this is the first in a sort of series of things like this that you're going to be doing.
Yes, indeed. So we were founded by a group of industry experts. We've all been around different OEMs over the years. So I was a director at Aston Martin. I used to look after Q, which is their special project division, and then I looked after special project vehicles for Lotus. Dan was in the design studio at Lotus for 15 years and was the lead designer on the Emira sports car. And Will and Mike, both expert engineers, and own a company called Skyships Automotive, which you may not have heard of, but Skyships make the electronic architecture and cockpit electronics for a lot of the supercars that are here on the street today. So our car has the same screen in the middle that they make for the Gordon Murray T33. And the wiring loom is a very similar version of the wiring loom that's on the Koenigsegg Jesko.
So this is the first car that you've done?
Yes.
So what's coming after this?
Everybody's asking us that. And actually, genuinely...
Well, you should take that as a great compliment.
Yes.
Because the fact that you've hit it out of the park straight away.
Thank you.
So everybody's like, well, what are you going to do next?
So genuinely, we haven't decided yet. I think we're going to let the customers that buy these 50 cars kind of guide us on what they want us to do. No two ways about it. People would love to see more derivatives of Esprit, so we will see. But it will take us until the middle of 2028 to build the 50 production cars. We're very small. We're geared up to build 25 cars a year, and we don't really have ambition to go beyond that. That's kind of where we want to stay. We want to stay niche, and to be able to have that direct relationship with our customers, and to be able to do really, really cool cars like this with amazing attention to detail that it's maybe a bit more difficult to do in a very big OEM with lots of people.
The attention to detail is incredible. Who are your customers for this?
So they are a diverse group of people spread around the world. We were really excited yesterday to announce our first 2 dealers. So we have partnered with Mouse Motors in Chicago, who are an amazing dealership that specialise in niche brands, and My Garage over in Denmark, who again, it's an amazing place that is owned by a member of the Lego family, and it's a 20,000 square metre dealership, and again they do lots and lots of niche cars, and that's what they're into. And so their customers obviously are our customers. They tend to be people that are interested in automotive art as well as driving. So we've made the car drivable. We want people to use it, and certainly the customers that bought the car so far, I think all of them will use it. And we've designed it to be fun to drive on the road. And it's not a track weapon as such. You could use it on the track, but it's been designed to be fun to drive.
Are they Esprit owners or previous Esprit owners?
Yes. So one of them owns this one.
Right. Okay.
So I borrowed his very kindly. Elliot, thank you for lending me your Esprit S1. So
Pick up
yes,
to Elliot, the car is beautiful.
yes, it is. It is. Yes, so a number of them have got
So was
Esprits.
this used as a template, for example, when you were working on the designs or the CAD for this one?
So we digitally scanned 4 Esprits to create our own CAD. So including a very early car, so not an S1, we used an S2, which is owned by our technical director, Mike, owns an Esprit Series 2. We also, one of our other co-founders owns a Sport 350 and then 2 V8. So we used 4 cars to create our own library of CAD. That was quite an interesting journey because we found even underneath the skin of a very early car, the door frames didn't change from the beginning to the end.
Oh, right.
There was a plywood bulkhead on every Esprit ever made between the passenger cell and the engine, which had no structural qualities whatsoever. The windscreen geometry didn't change from beginning to end. So yeah, it was quite an interesting journey. And actually we've retained the door frame because of that. So the door frame we do keep from the original Esprit V8. But by scanning the car and understanding how the Esprit was constructed, we very respectfully re-engineered the old composite body shell in carbon fibre and amended things within it in order to make it much stronger and safer. So we have a carbon fibre bulkhead with a foam core, which is now part of the structure of the car. The sills on the original Esprit, the inner sill was a full sill, and it was there to conceal the fly-off handbrake mechanism. So we've got the same dimensions of sill, but we now have a full carbon sill which runs right through the car, and then off that we've then got a structure through the roof and the A-pillars to create a proper rollover structure, which the Esprit never had. So yes, we have a much more rigid shell. I mean, to the point we probably don't need the chassis. We've kept it for type approval purposes.
So basically, it's an Esprit V8.
Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.
It's an Esprit V8. But the thing is, this is, you know, to call it a Restomod is doing a disservice. This is completely re-engineered.
Yes, we say we've remastered it because we've revisited every area of the car, and most of the componentry in it is brand new. And we made some quite expensive decisions, obviously going for a full carbon body shell, a new body, but then also the glass. So we tooled new glass, and because we were tooling new glass, we were like, my Esprit always used to fog up. Let's have a heated front screen. So we've put a heated front screen in, even though we have updated air conditioning and all new cooling package and everything else. We've taken the opportunity to do that.
So basically, you've taken the original Esprit shape and you've updated it with mod cons. It's a car that you can live with.
Yes.
And although you said a lot of the owners that are buying it are collectors and art lovers, but like you say, I do hope we get to see them being used.
Yes, I do too, and I'm absolutely sure that you're going to see them out and about. I mean, bear in mind, we're only building 50, so of that I expect about 15 to 20 of those to be in the States, because they have more Esprit V8s than anybody else. They got about 600 cars, and in Europe about the same sort of volume, probably the UK similar. So I think most of them will be UK, Europe, US, mainly because that's where the donor cars are.
Any Middle East ones?
Yes, and in fact I have a Middle East customer coming here shortly.
Awesome.
Who's going to have one in Dubai. So we have got some cars going into other markets. We've had an inquiry from Taiwan, and there's only 3 Esprit V8s in the whole island.
Hi guys, as some of you will know, I'm not just a motoring journalist and content creator, I'm also an author. These are my 3 books out at the moment. They're all on Amazon, and this is my latest book. It is an all-action espionage international thriller. It's all action, and it features a character that I actually first created 30 years ago. Why am I showing you this and not an actual book? Because it is so fresh, so new, it's so of the moment that I haven't even got my copy yet. I'm still waiting for my proof copy. In the meantime, The print versions are not yet available on Amazon of Silent Ruin, a Jumpshade Han thriller series, but the ebook version is available on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. So go check them out. And if you like it, please, please, please do leave a review, because that's really important. And in addition to that, of course, you've got the Ulysses Files, which is my first action thriller, a novel, great fun. That's done really well, got a lot of critical acclaim. Quantum Races, which is a collection of 13 short stories that I wrote over 20 years. And of course, How to Do What I Do, How to Be an Automotive Content Creator. All of these are on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. Check them out. And like I said, do leave a review. Thanks. So what was the biggest challenge of creating this to keep it true to the original but modernizing it?
I think it was a very, very tricky balance between being respectful of the original, but then also making sure that we bring everything in the car that we thought needed to be updated, up to date in the modern world. So we did question ourselves. We've put keyless entry and keyless ignition in the car.
All the way through the. It has no door handles.
No, but all the way.
So they're quite iconic, though, the door handles on the original one.
They were, but actually, if you look at the original concept sketches of the car from 1972 by Giugiaro, which is what Dan has done, we've tried to stick closer to that than the original S1, because in this car, during the feasibility that the engineers did to bring the S1 to life, there were lots of things that they had to do to deviate from the original concept. Yeah. So that black rubbing strip that's running down the middle of the car here was not on the original concept. It's there to disguise a join line. There were no Morris Marina door handles. There were door handles, but they weren't Morris Marina ones. So these all crept in as Lotus sort of brought the car into production.
So even till later in the life, it was still done as two halves, wasn't it? Because I remember seeing it at the factory.
Yes, it was.
But this is one complete body shop.
It is. Just going back to, what were the challenges, or how were we thinking through the process? We were constantly asking ourselves, what would Colin Chapman have done? And in the process of that, we have worked really hard to try and take weight out. So an Esprit V8 wet is 1,380 kilograms. So that's what we start with. And by removing that fiberglass body shell and replacing it with a carbon one, we lose over 100 kilograms in weight just in the shell. So we weighed this car 2 weeks ago with an almost full fuel tank, so 90% full fuel to get the DIN weight, wet weight, and we're 1,107 kgs.
Oh, wow.
So very significantly lighter than a Esprit V8, with more power, with much better brakes, with much more modern tyres and new suspensions. We've taken, we've worked with an engineer that worked on the last of the Esprit V8s and have taken his advice on ride and handling. So we have got the Bilstein dampers at exactly the same spec as the Sport 350. The IBAC springs, we originally put the Sport 350 ones on when we first built this car, and if you look at the first press images, you'll see it's sitting a bit high, and that's because we're so much lighter. We've had to put a unique IBAC spring in order to get the ride height correct. But yeah, we very much respected the original, but remastered it. And so it drives, I can't tell you how much fun it is to drive. There's 400 horsepower, twin turbo V8, which sounds totally different to the original Esprit V8 because we've got a hand-built exhaust with two sports cats. Well,
that was one of the criticisms, wasn't it, of the V8,
yes,
that it didn't quite sound like
this sounds mega.
This is your first car?
Yes. Yes, so this is VP1. Yes, VP1. Everything in it pretty much is production representative. There's a couple of interior components that we haven't updated yet, but pretty much everything that you see here is as you would get in a production car.
So the interior also is very unique in this car, because although it looks a lot like the original, but it feels very modern.
Yeah, so Dan kept the T-shape, but everything is new. So the door cards, the instrument panel, the center console, the seats, everything you're sitting on is all new. And so it takes inspiration from the original design, that we've got convenience features in there that you wouldn't expect to find in a lot of Restomod. So you can see the mirror there, for example. We've designed that mirror in-house. Everything in it is new, so it has the aerial for the DAB radio in it. You can see it has the pod underneath it for the 360 parking camera. It has a side repeater so that we don't have to have one on the wing. And it has heating and all the electric movement. And we built all of that into our own new mirror. Inside the car, you've got that 360 parking camera system, which makes the car so much easier to park. You've got a completely redesigned instrument binnacle, which takes inspiration from the original, but when your Apple CarPlay is connected, you can bounce the map from the middle screen into in front of you. The dials move apart, and it's just been designed to be really easy to use and to tour with, travel with.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely brilliant. What is the price on this thing?
£430,000 plus VAT and a donor vehicle, excluding tax and a donor vehicle for overseas customers.
Also plus the donor vehicle. Okay, so I'm going to head over and buy my lottery ticket right now. and what is the time of delivery? Because you said you're only doing 25 in the first year, for example.
We're actually going to do 12 in the first year, and then we'll ramp up. We will get to a point we can build 25 cars a year.
Right. Are there enough donor cars, do you think?
Yes. So
when you said, for example, that you're selling in America because they have more V8s there, does that mean you're going to build it there, or you can ship the car back here?
No. So our US dealer will source a US registered vehicle. It'll be shipped to us. We'll then do the conversion work and then send it back on its original license plates with its original chassis, its original engine number and gearbox number. So there's no numbers change. There's probably a colour change, and it goes back to the owner, back into the country that it's come from, and that means that it's a very relatively easy process, as opposed to us going through type approval which you would have to do as a new car.
It's absolutely fantastic. And just to let people know, where can they see it? Because you're only doing like a couple of events this year.
In the UK, yes, we're going to be at Salon Privé London next week for 3 days. So 16th to the 18th of April at Chelsea Royal Hospital. We'll also be at the Bicester Sunday Scramble on the 26th, and then we're doing an event with Premier GT down in Sussex on the 30th, and then we're out of the country testing.
Where are you going to be testing?
We're going to Spain, so we're going to go to Idiado, which is a Spanish industry proving ground, to do hot weather testing, to trial out our new cooling package. So we have all new radiator, new oil coolers. You'll notice there's various details on the car linked to cooling. So for example, top of the rear trunk lid, you'll see that there's a vent all along the top there, which is a chimney to take hot air out of our engine bay. So yeah, we've done a lot of work on cooling, but we need to go and prove it and make sure that it all works.
And will you be doing any events in other parts of the world?
Yes. So you can expect to see us at Le Mans Classic. You can expect to see us at Aurora in Sweden. We'll also be at Pebble Beach. So we're going to be in Monterey Car Week. So yeah, we're very much going overseas. So the UK is getting first bite of the cherry. Come and see us now whilst we're here, and then we're going overseas and doing things elsewhere.
Simon is absolutely brilliant, and I wish I could put my name down on the order list because I just absolutely am in love with it. Thank you so much for bringing it today. Thank you so much for taking the time.
That's all right. Really pleasure to meet you finally.
Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links, or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.